We're completing a V6 225 horsepower Evinrude, completely remanufactured. We gave the customer a choice between VRO and premix, which is adding oil to the gas. We went with premix, kind of recommended it. So there's a couple ways to do that. This is a VRO pump, they call it, and this actually within itself combines oil with the gas. And it can fail and destroy your motor. You can live with these if you maintain them correctly. Not many people do. Now a new disadvantage of these, they are $679 right now for a brand new one. So a lot of people say, well, I want to replace it, it's failing. I'm not really crazy about oil injection, so there's a couple companies that make, they call it a VRO conversion. It converts it to just pre-mixing, meaning you put oil in the gas. $679 versus $191. Also, the rebuild kit for this, if you just want to rebuild it, it's over $200. Rebuild kit for this is about 15 bucks if it ever fails. And what they did, they just took a conventional fuel pump that was for like a 70 down to 25 horsepower. And they put two together because this is having so much more horsepower, needs more volume. And you can see here, it's actually two of these put together. This one is made by a company called EMP, and it's the best one that we've seen. The other ones in between here, they make a manifold out of basically pressed aluminum. The hoses aren't as good. It's just not as good a finish. They don't even, some of them don't even use stainless steel screws between the two. So this is the one we prefer. Unfortunately, good product, lousy directions. This will only fit a looper. And then the directions, the way they explain it is incorrect. Also, they don't point out that this bracket even exists. This is on like mid-90s and newer. They have the older one. So they also direct you to cut a notch on this stainless bracket. But this stainless bracket used to receive this pump, and all you have to do is take a couple screws, and what I've done, I just put in some bushings. And the reason they wanted you to cut it, because this hose they were afraid was going to interfere with this bracket. It would if it was flush. So I just cut some basically pipe and put some longer screws in it. It fits nice, it's nice and secure right there. They don't also talk about, you have to, since it's totally different configuration, the hoses are different lengths. This particular motor has what's called a fuel restriction sensor, which is right here. Hard to see stuff like this, but sorry about that. Maybe we can include a picture of this off. And this goes to here, and then if you have a fuel restriction, mainly something in your gas tank clogs the strainer or something, and it cuts off fuel, well, there'll be a vacuum going down this line, and it just puts two pieces of metal together, sets off an alarm. Very, very, very important to have that. And most motors don't, so this is one of the few that does. And this one also has what a lot of people call a choke. I like to call it an enrichener. And this is what, when you push the key in for choke, puts fuel directly into the engine, so it starts on a cold start. So yeah, I had to run a new hose here, and then the hose that came with the motor was like 5 inches too short, so I had to add to that, and to add to this hose. And you know, it's forgivable that the directions didn't include any of that, because these are engineers that build this stuff. They're not the guys that do it every day. So this video is not only to inform the public, but it's to help them out too. So that's pretty much it. It's a great pump. We've used it before. It's relatively inexpensive. I didn't compare it to a new one of those. Just they could use better directions. So EMP makes it.